This is the new Nimbus T9. It's part of a series of 3 9-metre boats that they make. There is the W9, the Weekender, there is the C9, which has an enclosed wheelhouse, and this is the T9. Technically it stands for tender, but this isn't really built as a tender to a big yacht. It's just a really usable, practical, versatile day boat. So whereas the W9 has an L-shaped seating area and a galley, this is more focused on being an open, versatile day boat. So you've got these lovely side decks, you can walk around. The actual helm itself is centrally positioned rather than offset to one side. Side decks run down both sides, grab rails, nice tall bulwarks. It's a very, very easy boat to move around. And the other difference is that up here, whereas the W9 has a sun pad and a taller cabin coach roof, this has a nice little seating area. Perfect just for use at anchor. And we've got a nice squared off bow and an anchor locker, making it very easy. You can step off the front onto the beach if you want to. And then let me show you some of the differences back in the aft. Because the helm station is mounted centrally, you've got this nice protected area. There's a little step down to the twin helm seats, bolsters here so that you can stand or sit. Nice wraparound screen, gives you plenty of protection, and a really clean design. You've just got this one Garmin screen, it gives you everything you need to know. It's got the dials on it, you can use it as chart plotter. Got the throttle controls for the Mercury 350 horsepower engine. Really smart wheel, simple layout of buttons, very nice, very clean, works well, and a couple of cup holders. Then coming back, we've got the seating area. So whereas the W9 is laid out in more of a L-shaped seating area, this again has got the central one, so you've still got the walkways down both sides. Nice little table, just about big enough for 4 or 5 to sit round. And then rather than the full galley of the W9, it has this very neat feature here. So again, you've got plenty of space to move around, but when you do want to cook up something for lunch, this whole galley flits out and up. Got a handy sink, single burner cooker, everything you need to whip up a basic lunch. Lockers under here, water sports gear, got lockers under all the seats, access under the table to fuel, filters, etc. And then back on the bathing platform itself, another couple of lockers for fenders, lines, cables, etc. What I really like about the way Nimbus have done this is they've thought about how the boat is going to be used. So the detailing, the lockers, the finish, the nice little touches are all there. There's grab rails everywhere you go, even at the helm. Even if it's not necessarily as great to drive or handle as some of its rivals, it's a really nice usable day boat. It just works. I've talked a lot about it being a day boat, but there is more to it than that. There is actually a cabin. But first, let me point out a couple of neat little details here. So there's a perfect little slot here for your phones and sunglasses, and there's a little fridge. It's not large, but you can keep your drinks cool in there at least. And then down to the cabin itself, nice slide door, locks into place, and then come and have a look down here. Because the coach roof isn't quite as tall as the Weekender, there isn't as much headroom, but there is still a proper sized double berth. You've got nice light coming in through the windows, it's nicely finished, nice bit of wood. You've got a hatch up to the foredeck if you just want to pass your bags down, and most importantly of all, there is a proper separate heads compartment. Granted, it's not the largest you've ever seen, but it is a separate head compartment, you've got the privacy, and it's everything you need on an overnighter. We've talked a bit about the layout, let's now take it out for a drive and see how it goes on the sea. We've got a Mercury 350 horsepower Verado engine, it's the supercharged 6-cylinder, and it's so quiet you probably didn't even hear me start it, but we're now running. Got the electronic throttles, beautifully smooth in and out of gear, nice responsive steering, very nicely weighted, not too heavy, not too light. Put on a little bit more power, bring it up to speed. Very very nice and smooth onto the plane. It's not the fastest accelerating boat I've ever driven, but it's very comfortable, very easy to drive, and nothing to catch you out. This is where the T9 feels at its best. We're cruising along at 4,000 RPM, doing 25 knots, and burning less than 50 litres an hour. And at this kind of speed, it feels absolutely made for it. It'll still respond nicely to the helm. I'm very comfortable tucked in here, the sun's shining. It's perfect for it. You can go faster if you want to have a bit of fun. It'll go up to 40 knots. That 350 horsepower will give you a very comfortable 40 knots. But to be honest, it's not what it's best at. If you chuck in a really tight turn, you get a little bit of cavitation, and if it gets lumpy, it does start to bang around a bit. But to be honest, that's not what most people use boats for. It's all well and good and get a nice adrenaline rush, but it's at its best just cruising along at 25 knots. Get to where you want to go. You've got nice, comfortable steering, not too heavy, not too light. And when you get there, you can throw out the anchor and make the most of this fabulous layout. And if that's the kind of boat you want, a day boat with the ability to overnight, for £158,000, including that, which is what this boat costs, it's really good at it. You don't need to blat along and go crazy. You just want to use a boat for having fun. And for that, the Nimbus T9 is excellent.